All right, good Tuesday morning to you, or mid-morning. What time is it? 11 o'clock when I'm doing this, 11:15. Just have my coffee, kind of getting going. Every morning I get up and sort of look at what's new out in the world in terms of weather, what's going on. This is the job. And this came my way yesterday. Billy Bergeson sent me this. Pee-wee, if you've read Barbarian Days, the surf book, it was written by, I think, Bill Finnegan. Pee-wee was out here yesterday. This is between VFWs and the Cliff House or the Chalet in Kelly's Cove. Depends how you look at it. But look at that surf. It's massive. And these are crew members in this Coast Guard vessel that are strapped in. They're cinched in. They're standing up and they have like harnesses on. And it won't do it here, unfortunately. But I've seen them do it. They'll roll the ship all the way upside down and come back. So this is meant to be able to make rescues in some very, very, well, this is about as gnarly as it gets at Ocean Beach, truthfully. Big rip currents, and you can actually see the ship being pushed up the beach by a pretty massive rip current, I would imagine, that's moving that ship around. I mean, look at these outside sandbar waves. So that's something that you'll see when the surf gets really large. You'll see the Coast Guard get out there and begin to do this and train in this method. But one of the things I want to talk about today, we'll talk about weather, and then we'll talk about this a little more, because I want to talk a little bit about why I think Ocean Beach is the most dangerous beach in the world. And I get pushback on this sometimes, but I believe it wholeheartedly. So let's move on to weather. This is the current setup. This is the visible satellite. That's the Bay Area. You can kind of recognize the cutout and the topography of some sorts. And you see clearing right now at 11:12 or 11:14 a.m. Clearing along the coast. Sunshine is out. Ocean Beach is clear. We'll see that in a minute with a live camera. But you've got cloud cover in the inland areas. Showers have relatively ended. In the mountains, they have not ended. This is what happens when you have a boundary, the Sierra Nevada in this case, right? They're up over 8,000 feet. This moisture comes in across the Bay Area, hits the coastal hills, drains out a bunch of water there. But then the coastal hills are they average about 1,000 feet. You go inland, and the next boundary is going to be the west slope of the Sierra Nevada, and you go up to 8,000 feet. That increases the lift of the moisture, squeezes out a lot more, and it slows it up. It slows up we'll talk about this some other time, but there's a centrifugal force effect that it slows up the storm itself, and it almost stops right there. Not only because of the barrier, but because of the way the atmosphere gets kind of squished down or compressed. So that's the situation in terms of cloud cover. This is the rainfall accumulations from last night, which are not bad, right? Not bad. Not at all like the night before when we had 1.5 inches in Marin County, 1/4 of an inch other places. Today's rains totals thus far 0.09 at SFO, 0.5 at Hayward, but still beneficial rain. And here's my thing. Who doesn't love it when it rains at night and you wake up and the sun comes out? Like my friends in Pacifica right now are going, oh, this is awesome, right? Because the ground's wet and everything, the trees are happy, the bugs are happy, the birds, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy when it rains overnight. This is what the model does right here. You can see that it brings the showers out of the area, that blue area, that's easily by this afternoon. And then the isobars, which we've talked about a lot because it's surface isobars, and you can see the ridge of high pressure building in. And I don't know if you can see that, but what's going to happen is right in here, those lines that are close together, those are isobars. And what will happen is the wind's going to blow this way in relationship to them, northerly. And when they're close together like that, you're going to get strong winds. So the Central Valley is going to get pretty much strong winds through, well, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, it's pretty strong winds through Thursday and Friday. And you've also got temperatures that are going to increase. We're going to find the temperatures coming up into the 70s as we go to the latter part of this week. Pretty awesome. So in the mountains, you got snow. We talked about that situation with the boundary effect and how things get caught up. But there is a little sun coming out now. But if you look close at the cam, you'll see some snow. You'll see, I think you can see some snow coming down still. Kind of wet snow though, isn't it? Looks like they're not chaining up right now, which is good news. So mountain travel, good. Skiing up there next couple of days is going to be fun, kind of spring skiing. And so nice weather. So the plan is rain clears out today, mountains clear out tomorrow, and we get ourselves a warming pattern, which will bring in tree pollens a little bit because they're starting to bloom out there. So we'll keep an eye on that. But this is a quad camera or quad image from Surfline, which is linked to this YouTube channel. And this is Ocean Beach. And why do I think it's the most dangerous beach in the world? Number one, it's got a giant river coming out of it, like coming out of the bay. All that water on the outgoing tide flushes down and runs down Ocean Beach and drops sediments into the sandbars and creates this complex of sandbars that creates channels and shallow areas and so forth. So you've got a giant river that's not only pushing debris into that area, creating sandbars, but you've also got a current. You have a downshore current that's pushing down the coast. So that's happening when the tide's going out, or when it's going in, it pushes up the coast. And then, so that's number one. Number two, are you kidding me? You got 1 million people that live within a stone's throw of that place. My parents grew up in West Portal. My ancestors are all from the San Francisco area back into the 1800s. They taught my dad's brother broke his back body surfing Ocean Beach back in the day and had to be, there was so many issues with Ocean Beach back in the 30s and 40s with people drowning. The proximity of the city and this many people to a beach that harbors some of the most treacherous rip currents anywhere in the world. I mean, I'm sure there are other rip current places that are worse, but they're not approximate to a population center of 1 million people, even more if you get into San Mateo and Marin County. So you've got, let's say, you got Golden Gate Bridge out in water. Oh, and then the third thing, are you kidding? It's cold water, 58 degrees, 55 degrees. I've seen it down to 52 and 54. You got 15 minutes before you're starting to get slowed up by hypothermia. So if you are in a rip current and you're a badass swimmer, that's cool, but you better get out in the next 30 minutes if you don't have a wetsuit on, because you're going to start becoming lethargic. A little known fact, before the lifeguards were at Ocean Beach, this is 25, 35, 40 years ago, we, as a group of surfers, there were not that many of us back then, but there were still 100, maybe more than that. But every one of them that I know has pulled someone out of the water. I personally have pulled 3 people out from drowning at Ocean Beach in the last 40 years. Everyone I know. So that just goes to show you how prevalent being stuck in a rip or getting caught in a rip current is and whatever. So one of the things I would say about rip currents, they're not that mystical or magical or confusing. That's a rip current there. So see the white water coming in. The white water comes in, both those sides, and then it loops back, hits the beach, comes up, and then comes back out. That clear area is a channel, a deep section in the sandbar, right? And so there's variations. Rip currents are like snowflakes, man. I mean, they're literally in so many different spots. I could probably pick up another rip current out there too. My telestrator doesn't work with this picture, but that's the idea, right? So when you see a clear water channel like that with white water, you're getting pulled out. And I've seen them narrow, I've seen them wide, I've seen every rip current you can imagine. And a good surfer will walk down to the beach. I'll walk down to the beach, and right to the left of this yellow circle, I go, I'm going to jump in there and let the rip current pull me out through the break. And that's what surfers do. That's just what surfers do. But Ocean Beach, the most dangerous beach, literally in the world because of those things: water temperature, proximity, giant river mouth. All right, that was a long one. I'll see you back here hopefully tomorrow. Keep watching. Oh, could you ask somebody to subscribe to? I got like 3 subscribers. I'm working on trying to get 4. So that was awesome though. Thanks for watching.